And I got really hooked on this process of the kind of the meditation of throwing on the wheel, and that was my entry point. So it was actually very much through the traditional technique of throwing that was it was all through that. So I went there for a couple of years, and then I went to the Danish design school, and there I focused on throwing for the 3 years there. I was mainly throwing every day, and it was only during my BA project that I started to really experiment and break away from that, because I could never leave the vessel form and found that kind of frustrating in some way. And so I really just completely broke away and went and added lots of things into clay and different types of materials into clay, burnt things away, and ended up with a huge body of experiments. And that's kind of how it began. So I kind of mastered that technique. And then once I'd done that, I kind of
What do you think people are picking up on that is drawing them to the work?
I probably think a lot of the kind of the material tactility and the different combinations of material, because often I'm not working only with ceramics but also with metals as well, copper plating, and kind of finding new interesting ways of kind of using the material that maybe people haven't seen before. So I think in a lot of my images I have various combinations and that people haven't maybe seen.
I imagine the work generates lots of dialogue verbally where people are engaging and talking about those materials, how those materials are changing.
Yeah.
Are those responses, are you surprised by some of the responses people are giving to the work?
Yeah, I am. I think there's definitely kind of this is the material future and where things can go. It's like for me, it's all about kind of the progressive. Where can ceramics go now? You know, we've seen the tradition, all of the traditional techniques, and now it's kind of, for me, it's about pushing things forward and seeing how new combinations of materials can kind of like lead in new paths. Start with research, and then from there kind of build out with a lot of material experiments, and then a lot of it is kind of problem solving, because often I'm trying to recreate kind of formations found throughout nature, or pick up inspiration as to some kind of tactile surface or some and then I try to recreate it in the studio using different materials. And it's an interesting process kind of building out from that. But it always starts with a lot of material experiments, and then it kind of finds a form along the way. And so it's a different kind of process, I think, to most people working with ceramics, where they have a kind of form in mind. It's kind of very much material led as to what the material is capable of, and how I kind of can push it. I want to do more residencies where I'm actually going to one specific place, because I've been studio based so far. I'd like to do residencies where it's in a landscape and work from that landscape. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in doing.
Well, have a great day. Thank you for speaking to me in English. I appreciate that.
Not at all. All right. See you again.
Take care.